summer of 1966, a party of divers from the Belfast branch of the British Sub Aqua Club left Ballycastle on the North Antrim coast for Rathlin Island 7 miles away. On this remote island, often cut off by storms, they rented an old cottage to use as a base during their underwater exploration around the island. There are at the moment some 130 branches in all parts of Britain, and overseas branches and affiliated bodies in many parts of the Commonwealth and other countries. In 1960, the club was proudly able to announce that His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh had become its president. Popular imagination, so romantically caught through television adventures and the stirring stories of underwater writers, could be channeled into safe and useful activities. The main interest of the Belfast branch was HMS Drake, a battleship torpedoed during the First World War. She was lying about 1 mile from the island in 60 feet of water. The little harbour in Church Bay is used by local fishermen, and it was here that the club stored most of its equipment and set up a portable air compressor. This was to be used for recharging the cylinders that would enable the divers to stay submerged at the wreck site for about half an hour. 2 of the local fishermen took the divers out to the wreck marker buoy. The purpose of their dives was to explore the wreck and cut out some of the old copper steam piping from the engine room. The proceeds from the sale of this copper were used to help purchase Drake House, the new club rooms at 2 Alexander Park Avenue, Belfast. While a diver made fast the boat to the wreck, safety lines were floated down current. Observing the golden rule in diving, divers descend in pairs. Below 25 feet, all red light is filtered out by the water, and a blue-green silent world is entered. The diver's equipment consists of a wetsuit made from 1/4-inch thick neoprene to protect from the cold, a heavy lead weight belt to counteract the positive buoyancy of the suit, and compressed air cylinders filled to 2,000 pounds per square inch. A face mask, fins, diver's knife, torch, hacksaw and rope complete the necessary equipment. After 50 years, the outside of the wreck has been covered completely by weed, and this in turn provides food and shelter for various kinds of fish, mainly wrasse or live. One of the most satisfying and rewarding of underwater activities is the recording of pictures of underwater scenes and life. The diver photographer, whether he be snorkel or free diving, is, however, faced with a number of problems peculiar to the environment. Underwater visibility is stated to be extremely good if it reaches 100 feet. Under such conditions, equal to fog and dry land, the difficulties of obtaining clear photographs are legion. Add to this the fact that the photographer himself is probably moving, drifting up and down, swaying with the movement of the water. The majority of underwater photographers use a standard camera encased in some form of waterproof housing. It is the ease by which these controls are made accessible to the operator and his ability to use them underwater that largely influence the choice of a camera for use in an underwater housing. Although the poor contrast and adverse underwater lighting conditions would indicate the choice of a camera designed to take a large picture, other considerations, such as its short focal length lens and simplicity of controls, generally result in the choice of one of the 35mm cameras. One of the divers had a watertight housing for his 35mm camera and managed to get colourful pictures with the aid of flash bulbs. The Drake torpedoed amidships, settled on her side and then gradually rolled over to finish upside down. After the war, a salvage company cut a hole in her and removed the engine. This hole made a convenient entrance for the divers, and through it they brought up the scrap and souvenirs. Among the items found were clay pipes, crockery, china ornaments, and music records still in playable condition. Some of these records were heard at a later date on a Radio 4 program about the Drake. One of the greatest single hazards to aqualung divers is cold water, and some form of insulation is necessary in all but exceptionally warm waters. The wetsuit mentioned earlier provides this insulation, but the most vulnerable parts of the body to cold are the head and neck. Chilling of the main arteries and nerve centers of the head soon incapacitates a diver, even though his body may be adequately protected. All-over rubber cap or hood is very necessary for complete protection. This can be made of sponge rubber, or a bathing cap fitted over a woolen balaclava may be used. Some young divers are willing to try anything once. Odd pieces of pipe found lying about were scraped to determine whether valuable or not. Some pipes were pulled up by rope and muscle power and cut into smaller pieces for easier transportation. Open-ended buoyancy bags inflated underwater from the diver's air supply brought other pieces to the surface. To inflate the buoyancy bags, it was necessary for the diver to remove his mouthpiece and hold it up inside the open neck of the bag. The lifting power of these bags is very considerable. For example, a plastic bag of 2-foot diameter filled with air will have sufficient lifting force to raise a cannon weighing 1.5 hundredweight. A red flag with a white St. Andrew's cross is flown to warn other craft approaching and constituting a possible danger to divers. The inflatable life jackets worn by the divers are made of rubber-proofed fabric or other material and are often yellow for easy identification. They are worn over the head, covering most of the back and chest, and are fastened by means of tapes tied round the body. Provision is made for inflation by mouth if there is sufficient time, or for rapid inflation in an emergency by the use of a small cylinder of compressed carbon dioxide. Refill cylinders can be obtained and the life jacket used many times. Another successful dive completed, the Belfast branch of the British Sub-Aqua Club returned to Rathlin Island. Watched by the local fishermen, they unload their equipment and start recharging the air cylinders that will again take them diving for treasure.